Hey Grace, how you doing? I was just taking a look at your writing. So you did a good job describing your design. Oh, what am I doing here? You did a good job describing your design decisions, and I think that if we jump over to the logo mark, I'm sorry, the monogram itself, yeah, I mean, I think it's clean. I think it's very traditional. I think it's very recognizable. But there's a couple of things I recommend in this G. I think the G is too ornate. I mean, I think that one of your classmates had left this right here, and this is the old logo for Google, right? And of course, there are some considerations that this could be mistaken as something in along those lines, right? I'm not really too concerned about that. My main concern is this: is that right now you've got your monogram. Now the monogram has the background, the black background, and if the black background is part of the monogram, I don't recommend using a background for a monogram. And the reason being is because it could interfere with it could reduce the versatility of the monogram itself by increasing the area that is needed to place the monogram. So for example, if you have one of the reasons we have the monograms instead of showing the full logo is for space constraints. So if you have to use a version of the logo, then let's say the logo is long, right, and you only have a little space to use the logo, you can't put that logo there because the shape is wrong and it would have to be reduced too small to fit it, right? So we use alternative versions of the logo, in this particular case, the monogram, right? But what you're doing by adding the background is you're kind of reversing that versatility. So now all of a sudden, instead of having a monogram that takes up this space right here, we have a monogram that takes up this space right here. Do you see what I'm saying? Plus, it's going to be really difficult to place this over other like things like photographs and other areas that the background could theoretically interfere with expeditious placement of the monogram itself. For that reason, I recommend designing without the background. The next thing is I think this G is a little too ornate. It almost reminds me, it's got some Art Nouveau characteristics to it, I think, with the organic flourishes right through here, right here, and here. And I think those are a little too ornate. I think that a lowercase two-story G is fine, but I would recommend not using something that doesn't have these kind of holes punched through them. Do you see what I'm saying? And the reason is because if that's that's going to show the background through those. So again, placement on things like a photo or something like that, the photo is going to be seen through these little slivers right here, and I think it's going to impede the visibility and recognizability of the monogram itself. It looks like you elected to go with the G instead of the GNS for Guardian Network Security, and I'm fine, perfectly fine with that. I think at this point, though, I would mention that I would not recommend using a gradient in the logo. I would recommend going solid color. And what color, you ask? I would say the best way to decide what color to go would be to open up your word mark and open up your monogram. Put them next to each other. Put all three pieces next to each other. And remember, you have to have a very, very high degree of consistency and harmony in the three pieces. It's a branding package, so to speak, right? So everything has to really, really harmonize with one another. So at that point, when you have all three open, you can start really taking a close look and saying, okay, where and how can I make these more consistent, and how can I make the color palette very consistent through the three pieces? That's what I'd like to see moving forward at this point. But good job. And I think this is it's an interesting approach, and I think it's developed nicely, but I definitely have those reservations. So go ahead and review my comments if you need to review them again and make those changes. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. Thank you very much.